Hi, Jeff Munn, Creating Extraordinary Futures, and I want to go a little bit deeper in this week's subscriber video on the notion of lying to ourselves. And I'll talk a little bit about how I lied to myself and why I think I did that. So for many years, I had this urge, this deep desire, this felt sense that someday I was going to be a coach, that someday I was going to help people make huge changes in their lives, see deeper things about themselves, see deeper ways that we can accomplish so much more when we understand how our human software really works. But I kept putting it off. I kept trying to convince myself that I was happy enough in what I was currently doing. And, outside looking in, it was great. I was doing pretty cool work. I was getting paid well. At one point, I know I began to suspect something. So I thought that I was being quite rational around when the right time was to leave. And I kind of was. But where I wasn't being rational was in trying to convince myself that I was happy about it, that I was happy about staying. And I remember a moment where I decided that I would continue in my current role until retirement, that I was having a good enough impact, that I was happy enough, that I liked the people that I was working with enough to enjoy, a really good gig. Good pay, high level responsibilities, getting to do cool stuff, all that stuff. And I remember when I decided that, there was this bodily sense of resignation. This, I thought it was going to look like this, and it really ended up looking like that. And I knew at that point that something was wrong. I knew at that point that it wasn't sustainable. And I'm wondering if you've ever had a moment like that, because I think that's the first glimpse. The first glimpse of, I've been kind of lying to myself, because my mind can tell me lots of things. I can convince myself. I can, rah-rah myself into believing lots of things. But my body doesn't tend to lie. My body, there's this tension that shows up. I know what the story really is. I know what you're giving up. And it's ironic, because at the same time, when we do try to push the other way, when we do try to step into something bigger, our body is telling us it's dangerous. Our body is telling us this is scary. But here's the thing. There is true fear, and there is excitement, and the sense of, I'm out on my edge. I might learn something I haven't learned to this point. And in a way, that kind of fear can be a pointer. It can be part of the roadmap. It can lead you to the next thing. There's the, oh wow, could I really do that? And there will be a sensation, there will be a voice that will say, nope, you cannot, and how dare you think you can? And it's often really helpful to get some support through that to see, is that real? Or is that just that protective part of you trying to keep you safe? And how has your life gone when you've listened to that voice? And how has your life gone when you've ignored that voice and done it anyway? And if you want to go a little bit deeper, there's a way to see if that voice, those thoughts are even real, or a historical construct from your childhood that's really obsolete at this point. So there's a lot to explore in there, a lot of discernment that is available to you around, am I happy? Am I lying to myself? If I am, what is really next for me? And how do what's the next step? I am happy to talk with you about any or all of that anytime. Feel free to reach out to me. I hope you have a great weekend exploring all this, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.